Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft HardRock. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we get started, I just want to let you know, I did finally set up memberships on YouTube here. So if you'd like another way to help support me, that option is now open to you. But let's actually get to the important and fun stuff here. Last time we made the pressure chamber. We have one input here, or one interface. You really need two. Makes sense. You have one in, one out. So we're going to break that block. Make sure I grab that. That's our second interface. And we're going to break that one also. Because the way you place these interfaces, they're a little... Yeah, you got one that way and one that way. And that way you've got an input and an output. This one should say... This is exporting. This is importing. So, can I? No, I can't click in yet. I'm sure. Can I use a hopper? I mean, I know I can use like the mechanism pipes and that sort of thing. I'm just curious if I have anything on me I can use instead. This should be input. Yep. Okay, so that does work. It's a little slow. Okay, so I just accidentally told it to pull out the stuff I just put in there while crafting it. Okay, so you can change it to either extract only crafted items or extract everything. And I can't pick it up. I would need something in order to pull from this. What would be a good thing? Hopper wouldn't work for pulling out because it's in the wrong location. Mechanical pipe might work, but that would require quartz enriched iron, which would require us to have a smeltery so we can melt down iron and quartz together. Let's see if it's not under pipe. PneumaticCraft have something to pull. Here we go. Omnidirectional hopper. Did you ever want to use a hopper to extract items from a side other than the bottom? How do we make it? A bunch of compressed iron around a chest. I'm a little short on compressed iron, but we can use the chamber now to make compressed iron. Okay. Except I can't pull stuff out of the chamber right now. We can break it open and grab everything that way. Alright, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the 2 more ingots of compressed iron. We'll make the... what is it here? The omnidirectional hopper. And then we can make the blue and black steel we need in order to make the engineer's blueprint, which means we'll finally be able to make our graphite electrode rods and get our arc furnace running. And here's the omnidirectional hopper. Configure the input and output direction with a wrench. I didn't realize PneumaticCraft had its own PneumaticCraft wrench. Makes sense. Obviously. Pneumatic wrench. Oh, I can't make that yet. Actually, I could. I just sneak right click to change the rotate the output. Well, I just really needed to do this. Oh, well, of course it's not going to output anything yet. I haven't gotten the pressure up high enough in the chamber yet to make the black steel. So once that hits 4.5 psi, then it will start to output into the hopper. And this will be the last we need to make the blue steel. And if you notice, every time the chamber adds or removes an item, the pressure drops inside the chamber. So if you have these automatic input and output bits, you're going to need to constantly provide it with new pressure. But that gets us the 2 weak blue steel we need, or actually the 2 high carbon blue steel. Just toss them in there. Turn the light on. That's that. That's our engineer's blueprint. It is the one for the electrode rods. That's good. Run back up here. Put that there, put that there. Now we have a graphite electrode rod. Alright, so if I wanted to make steel using the arc furnace, I could toss iron in along with coal coke, raw iron in, or I could toss in cast iron, I believe. Oh, look at that. We could throw hematite powder in and turn it directly into cast iron. Let's try that. Something simple. We want to test if we can run the arc furnace with just 1 graphite rod, or if we have to make all 3. So they go up there. Toss that there. Well, it's not heating up and it's not using any fuel. Okay, so that's not working. So let's try this way instead. That goes there. That goes there. Okay, not working. So I guess we need to make the other 2 graphite rods, or this isn't providing enough power. Although it's not even appearing to try to use it, so I'm going to assume I need 3 rods in order for this to work. There we go. I put in the 3rd rod and it instantly kicked on. And you can see right there, that lit up to let me know that it was actually running. Meanwhile, I did have to go fly all the way north to pick up a whole bunch more graphite. But we now have the arc furnace running, which means that we now have the ability to make all the steel we need for the refinery, the fermentator, and the diesel generator, which I'll remind you is about 200 ingots of steel. So now I have to go process a lot of iron. But I can take cast iron plus flux plus any coal, it looks like, and turn it into pig iron, which I can then process into steel using the press here. Or if I already have raw iron, I can toss it in with coal coke to turn it straight into steel. So this will allow us to skip the step of using the the blast furnace behind us, which means we can actually take apart the blast furnace now that we have the arc furnace. And yeah, we can actually skip the bloomery too. We can retire pretty much all of this except for the the crucible, since the crucible is useful for making alloys. Although we can make alloys in the arc furnace as well. If I look up, let's say, sterling silver, we can do that in the arc furnace using copper and silver. We can make the weak steel, which becomes the black steel, combining nickel, black bronze, and steel in the arc furnace. So this will make life a little easier. Of course, getting all the iron I need is going to be less easy. We can make the core sample drill, the immersive engineering mining drill. We can create mechanical drills and do what I did last season, where I just bore out an entire 16 by 16 area. Or we can make up a few more of these create drills and set them up in different locations to get a different assortment of materials. So where we have it over here, we're getting copper, iron, and gold, silver, and bismuth. Over here is a cinnabar chunk, which will give us redstone and graphite, actually. And I think I had a cassiterite chunk. Yeah, a cassiterite chunk here, which will give us tin and also graphite. Down here, we had stanite. I'd have to look up what that is. But cupride, which is gold and copper. I don't know what else the cupride will give, but yeah, so we can make more of these create drills to produce more resources. I'm sure I found an iron chunk around here too. That might be what the stanite is, because the iron vein we had over here is now completely exhausted. There's no more iron in that mine. So we're going to need to get more iron elsewhere, and we're going to need a lot of it. Now I get to go spend more time collecting iron. I mentioned this last episode, but we're going to be making some sieves. Well, we already have 9, but here we've now got 10. And we're going to be replacing all of these flint meshes, which we made a little while ago. Pretty easy, but they don't have the greatest returns, being the flint one. For example, we have a 12% chance of getting tiny coal when sifting gravel with the flint mesh. I want to make the diamond mesh. So we need to make iron mesh first, which we then coat in molten diamonds to make diamond mesh. We can melt down the diamond horse armor that we got in the nether. I've got 2 in here. But in order to make the iron mesh, we need to make iron mesh. That's not confusing. And to do this, we throw iron bars into the roller twice and then into the press. So I made up a bunch of iron bars there. Just did a double ingot. Sorry, double plate. Double plate gives you 16. Was fairly easy. So now we're... Okay. I got concerned for a moment since I was seeing nuggets. No, those are the intermediary step. We got 16 of the iron bars, which now we're going to turn into mesh. That is only enough to make 8 right now. We'll make do. Then we'll toss it into our pressure chamber. Forgot what it was called for a moment. And that should solve this process, so I don't have to do it on anvil. I don't have to worry about heating it up and any of that. And then we can start sifting all the gravel, because I'm making an absolute ton of gravel. Just processing our ores normally. And get coal, and therefore supply ourselves with coal without having to go out and mine coal. Oh, and if you click the drill, see, this is a right click. You can hover over and it'll tell you what the vein is that you get. So the cassiterite vein gives you andesite, cassiterite, poor cassiterite, and graphite. I was saying I don't know what stanite is. Here's stanite. Copper, cassiterite, and hematite, so iron. So we have a stanite vein right over here somewhere. Yep. Oh, it's actually right next to an iron chunk also. So we're going to make another drill setup that we have here and put it down here so we have a constant supply of iron, which should get us enough iron to make everything for all of our next immersive engineering projects. Mentor, refinery, and the diesel generator. Now if we stick these on the press, we need to do it twice. I was confused for a moment. Okay, we'll be back when I'm ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so we just toss a little flux in there and some more charcoal in there to repressurize the chamber. As I mentioned, every time it pulls an item out of here and puts it in, it releases a little bit of the pressure on the inside. Makes sense. You're opening up the pressure chamber to put something in, so some of the pressure is escaping. So while that runs, we're going to see if this coal coke is hot enough to melt the diamond armor. It says it is. This says it requires 1,450. Also says blaze blood here. I don't have any of that, but the charcoal is 1,550. Coal coke, and no, that's not working. I get blaze blood by melting a blaze in a smeltery, or by melting a blaze head. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to go headhunting a little bit. There is an enchantment from Tinker's Construct to help with that. Here we go. The Cleaver. It imparts Beheading 2 by built into it. So if we make a Cleaver, we can go use that on mobs in the Nether, get heads, and then be able to, if they're blaze, use that to power the smeltery or the melter to melt the diamonds. So that's going to require a broad blade, tough handle, second tough handle, and a large plate. And the large plate requires requires 2 ingots. No, it says 1 for the mold. But it requires 4 ingots of whatever you're making the plate out of. So let's go make the large plate mold. Let's make sure I don't already have one. I do have one. Okay. So we can make the large plate. Let's make it out of copper. I've got a lot of copper available to me. I'll toss that in there. Do I have the broad head? I've got the tool handle. I do not appear to have the broadhead mold. So that means we gotta make a broadhead mold and then cast it into gold. Easy enough. There we go. Now we can melt gold, cast it onto this to make a gold cast. Let's see. I turned that off. Will help if you turned your furnace on before you tried melting stuff in the furnace. Okay, so we're going to do that so we can then take these, so we can then melt these down into diamond, liquid diamond, so we can then give these diamond meshes. There's a strider riding a strider. Didn't know they did that. We got the sword made up. It's made with a steel tool rod because I didn't feel like spending 7 ingots of steel to make the blade of steel. So I made a blade out of flint and then put a diamond on it. So it does 7 damage per hit. And it's a bit slow, but it does have beheading. Got beheading too, so it has like 5, maybe 10% chance of getting ahead. Might take a while. At the very least, we'll get plenty of blaze rods. But here we go. Diamond, severing 2, jagged, cultivated, ductile, dwarven, silky shears. Yeah, it will definitely suffice. Oh, and I've got the blaze backpack on. So these guys don't hurt. Okay, they hurt when they punch me, but they don't hurt when they shoot me. Oh, that's just evil. The closer you get to an Enderman, the more funky your vision gets. Oh, look at that. We got an Enderman head before we got a blaze head. But we do have blaze spawners up there, so we will be heading up there to hopefully get a blaze or 2. I can't get to that one. Well, it cost me, but I did get one blaze head. Let's see if I can't get another one. Getting plenty of blaze rods, though. I did drink some aged beer to give me a little bit of absorption, as you can see. And I made up a few more band-aids. Not that I need them this time. However, I did not make myself more food, so now I'm hungry. You might be wondering, you're immune to blaze fire. How did you die? Blazes punch you if you stand too close to them. And they do those punches do count as damage even with the protection from their fireballs. So yeah, that's how they were able to kill me. One spawned in the same spot I was standing. That was a mistake. Oh well, let's get out of here. And hopefully no other zombie pigmen are mad at me. Alright, here we go. We could have made the seared fuel tank, put lava in it, and then melted the blaze blood. And now I've got a new problem. I made the tank there in order to hold the blaze blood, and I just used it for lava instead. Okay, what can I store the blaze blood in now? Okay, do I have enough seared bricks? If I do, then I can make a seared tank, and I can store it in that. Okay, I don't have any seared bricks on me. I do still have a little bit of grout. Yes, I do. There we go. And then I can put that in there, drain that into there. Okay, well that didn't work. Well, at least we know how to get blaze heads again. But now that I have this, can I melt the diamond armor with... No, it looks like I need to use blaze blood. Yeah. Guess I'm going back to the Nether. Okay, it took a few trips to the Nether, but I finally got enough of the blaze blood. The trick is you need 250 millibuckets for it to do one fill cycle. So we put one head in, which was only 100 millibuckets, and so it wouldn't allow us to pick it up. But now we can melt the diamond horse armor, which means we could then take these, put one there, and when this finishes melting, turn it into a diamond mesh. Yep, okay. And then we can turn those then we can put those diamond meshes into the sieves and actually get a good amount of coal, tiny coal, from our gravel, which will allow us to make all the coal coke we're gonna need to make all the steel. But yes, so to get the blaze blood to fill in the basin like we're doing, and I imagine it's anything else, not just blaze blood, you need 250 millibuckets for it to complete a cycle for you to then pick it up out of the basin. That was 132 stack of gravel. So this is going to make getting coal much easier. Don't have to worry about going out and mining anymore. Alright, so I got distracted by our little trip to the nether. But we do have our diamond meshes done and working. And I've started making up all the brass. We got some there, we got some there. I've got some powdered obsidian that we're going to turn into the sturdy sheets. So we're getting everything together we need to make a new drilling machine. I'm going to do that and set up on the stanite so we can get a good steady supply of iron. And I've started converting all of our raw iron into wrought iron. I'll turn these into plates. Well, turn those into plates that need to be turned into plates. And then I'm going to start working on the fermentator and the refinery. These require the least amount of steel. Although now that I have all that coal, thanks to the sifters there, the 3 or 4 stacks of gravel I did got us 21 coal and a bit more tiny coal. So now we're going to have pretty much infinite coal coke. We're going to have infinite iron. And well, now we can use lava as a fuel source instead of burning charcoal and coal in this. And once I actually make the smeltery, this is the melter. Let's make the smeltery. We can just continue using lava as a fuel source, with the occasional swapping out to blaze blood for special projects. But if you couldn't tell, I'm exhausted today. So I'm going to call it an end here, so I can actually go to sleep, since I've fallen asleep twice now, just while editing this video. And yeah, I'll get all this done. I'll get all the prep work done between now and next episode. In next episode, we'll actually build the fermentator and the refinery and see about making our first batch of biodiesel. Until then, thank you for joining me today. Hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.